Hi, my name is Prakash, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I found, or what is the holy grail to fluent speech. I have been stuttering since the age of 12. Till the age of 12, I was a very eloquent speaker, and my parents and my brothers can attest to that. I was not even average. I would love to give cricket commentary back in India, and my parents would always say, "Prakash, you speak so well. One day you are going to become a commentator." And at the age of 12, I have no idea what happened, and I started to stutter. And now I am over 52 years old, and it was only recently that I think I'm doing a lot better. And what I found to be the holy grail of fluent speech is spontaneous speaking, is being able to train your mind to speak spontaneously. When people who don't stutter speak, there is a lot of brain activity on the left side of the brain. But when people who stutter speak, there is a lot of brain activity on the right side of the brain, which means that our basic framework of speech is off. We need to get our brain, our left side of the brain, to light up when we speak and not the right side. Even when people who stutter, when they are not stuttering, they still speak from the right side of the brain, which is why I'm saying that our basic framework of speaking is way off. Now, what is spontaneous speaking? Spontaneous speaking is like what everyone else does. It's when people who don't stutter speak. Now, how do they speak? They speak in a way that there is no gap from when the words are formed in the brain to when they are uttered. They are spoken at the same time. But people who stutter, that's not the case. What really happens is that there is a gap from when the words are formed in the brain to the time they are actually uttered. And that is the problem. There should be no gap. When there's a gap, that gives your brain enough time to scan those words. And if it hits a word that is a feared word, a problem word, it will try to help you. Your brain wants to help you. And the way it thinks it is helping you is by tensing up your vocal cords, which is not a good thing. And we block. So even when we're not stuttering, if the brain is scanned and there are no feared words, we are still speaking from the wrong side of the brain. And the reason is it is not happening spontaneously. Now, you will know when you're speaking spontaneously and when you're not. A few weeks ago, I was in the Rogers Mall, and there was a woman with a bunch of packages. She was trying to get through the door, and I was on the other side, and I said, "Ma'am, I can help you open the door." And she walked through, and then it hit me. I spoke spontaneously. I did not give my brain enough time to scan those words, even though I might have not stuttered, but I knew, I could feel it in here that it was spontaneous speech. Another example, I was walking toward the fitness center, and I met one of my friends, and for a few seconds we just exchanged some niceties. And after you walked by, it hit me. You know what? I did not even think about stuttering at all. That was spontaneous speech. I could feel it right here. And that's the way, my friends, normal people speak. They don't think about their speech. They just speak spontaneously. If we can do that, that will be a big help, and that will really help us a lot with our speech. So, how can we practice speaking spontaneously? You can practice by yourself, take a speech and prepare it, and then just try speaking. But now it's easier to speak spontaneously when there's no one there. By default, when you speak alone, you are speaking spontaneously. It's a weird thing. So it's best you need to practice with the people around you. Tell them, hey, I'm going to learn to speak spontaneously. So I'll purpose really hard not to focus on the words, to focus on the content, and get people to help you and stop you and ask you, are you speaking spontaneously? If not, go back and say it. And it's something you need to practice. Get as many people as you can. Tell that you're going to speak spontaneously and ask for their help. Every time something happens, have them ask you, did you speak spontaneously? And go back and say it. It's easy. You just don't think about the words. So what happens when you don't think about the words? You have no idea whether the word that's going to come up is a feared word or not. So your brain doesn't have enough time to really think, to scan, to go back into your past and figure out whether a word is a feared word or not. So the key is to speak spontaneously, to speak exactly when the words are formed. Don't give your brain enough time. If you can master the habit of speaking spontaneously, and friends, you'll need help from the people around you. Tell them, I'm going to speak spontaneously, and I'm not going to focus on the delivery. I'm going to focus purely on the content. So when you speak to them, just speak. Don't for a second form a sentence or form a word in your head, because that's trouble. And even if you get stuck and off and on you will not be able to do it, it is okay. Just move on. If you think that you're going to block, it's fine. Go ahead. What I've done in the past, that if I think that I'm going to block, I will go and purpose in my heart to believe that there isn't a block and go and say it. But you shouldn't. If you speak spontaneously, that will not even come up. And with spontaneous speech, there are no feared words, because there's no time for your brain to scan that word and figure out whether it's a feared word or not. Spontaneous speech is what everyone does around you. So try and speak spontaneously. From now, purpose that whatever I say, I'll just say it. I will not think ahead. I'll just say it naturally. I'll say spontaneously. Hey, if you like this video, please post your comments and let me know what you think. Thank you.